Hello and welcome back again to Movie Reviews. So, second movie of today was something that just opened, I guess, today or yesterday, last couple of days. I actually had no idea what this movie was. I was looking at showtimes this morning to see what time the other movie I wanted to see, and No Good Deed, which you would have saw the review for prior to this one. I was looking to see what times they started to see if I could plan out the day. And I was like, okay, what other movies opened? And there was a few of them listed that I just honestly didn't care about. And then I saw this one. I was like, I haven't even heard of this. What's it about? So I watched the trailer online, and I was like, that actually looks kind of interesting. Not really, but, you know what? If I got time, I'll give it a shot. So I came and watched it, and it actually turned out to be a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be decent or a complete letdown, and it actually turned out to be really good, to a degree. Actually, I shouldn't say it was really good, it was really entertaining. I'll give it that. Which is something I don't really get from movies too much anymore. It kept me intrigued through the entire movie, trying to figure out what was going on. And that movie would be Something Wicked. So, from the preview that I saw online, the trailer, it shows that, there's an accident. This girl and her boyfriend are having dinner with her parents, and they're like, we'd like to get married, and they're basically just out of high school, and the mother's kind of like, she's got accepted to a college, let her go to college, continue her education, and then if you guys still want to get married after that, you have our blessing. And the dad's like, I really like you, kid, I want to see her with anyone other than you, but her mother's right, but, just, don't rush into it, wait it out. If you guys really love each other, it'll last. So then, of course, on the way home, they get into an accident, and she survives, he survives, and, spoiler, not really, because it was in the preview, the parents die. So, her brother, she has an older brother who basically takes custody of her while she's going to college and everything. Her boyfriend still proposes to her, gives her an engagement ring because they both survived. It jumps forward a year later. So of course they're still going to get married, but they're waiting. And he kind of says, the night that her parents died, when they kind of rejected his marriage proposal or asking for their blessing, he's like, if I let you go off to college, you're just going to meet some dumb frat boy and end up leaving me for him. And she's like, no, you're the one I want to marry, you're the one that I love, I wouldn't do that to you. So, of course, it kind of shows that it was accurate. She goes to college and actually waits for him. She's going to finish college, he's waiting for her to finish college so they can get married, and she's staying faithful to him and not, going off dating someone else or breaking up with him or anything. But I guess she goes to college locally so they can still see each other, so why he would be afraid of that, I don't know. Usually it's when people go away to college and they're not around each other and they're doing a long-distance relationship that they end up breaking up. If they can still see each other locally, they usually still stay together. So yeah, that's one little throw-off. So then you kind of start seeing this guy following her around college campus, and it's like, okay, somebody's kind of stalking her. So then one night she gets attacked by somebody, and she goes running home, and at first she thinks it's her boyfriend because she tried to call him to get help, and his phone rang, or there was a phone ringing while she was trying to call him where she was being attacked, or where she was getting chased at. So when she gets back home and he's there, she's like, how did you get here? You were just there, because she made it back to her car and drove away. And he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, I was trying to call you for help and your phone rang and it was at where I was at. He's like, I told you a couple days ago my phone got stolen. And so then you find out that the guy who had been following her around campus works with her boyfriend. So it's kind of like, okay, so this guy's stalking her and messing with her and stole her boyfriend's cell phone and whatnot. So at first, the brother's her older brother's being kind of a dick to the boyfriend, and it's like, okay, so he still has a problem with him because of because he was driving when their parents were killed. But then, like, later on in another shot, he's like, hey, come help me with this. And then another shot, he's like, you know, you're an asshole. And then another shot, he's like, you know, she's happy with you, but if you break her heart, I'll kill you, you know, type of thing. So it's like, what's the brother's deal? And at one point, it looks like the brother's kind of in love with his own sister, because he's like, she's in the shower or something, getting changed, and he's just like watching her through the door. And even his wife's like, what are you doing? Like, it shows this part in the preview, so this isn't a spoiler. But his wife's like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, nothing. And it's like, okay, that was weird. But then it's not really brought up at all through the rest of the movie, other than, like, he watches her through the window when her and her boyfriend are fooling around, and then he comes in and attacks him. It's like, yeah, but other than those couple of times, it doesn't really focus too much on this. He may have feelings for his sister, I guess, type of thing. So then she starts kind of having hallucinations at one point. The brother's wife is a psychiatrist, and she says that if she's seen things, that it might be like post-traumatic stress disorder that's carried over from the accident, because she's been kind of displaying symptoms for a while now, but they haven't really manifested until this point. And like, one of the things that she really sees that get people questioning if she's okay is, she says that somebody came up to her outside the house and stole her ring, and what you see is that she sees her father, who's dead, and he's the one that came up and said, give me the ring. So then it's like, well, is all this just in her head? Is there actually somebody following her? You know, is it all coincidences that this boy at the college kind of has a crush on her? And, you know, like, when she was attacked, was she really attacked? You know, is all of it just in her head? So it starts kind of messing with you that way, because you're like, okay, is this really happening, or is she imagining it? And then each time you start to think, oh, she's just imagining it, like, campus security goes, oh, we got a videotape from that night, and there were definitely 2 or 3 people, running around in hoods that, were conscious of where the cameras were, so they were careful not, but I have an idea of who they were. So yeah, it's kind of like, it keeps throwing back and forth of whether she did it or not, or, if it's in her head, or if someone's actually messing with her. It cuts occasionally over to the boy who's following her around, that's like kind of crushing on her. And it turns out he's in seeing a psychiatrist, which is actually the brother's wife, because he has some disturbances, some issues. And like, it occasionally cuts back to him at home where he like wakes up from these dreams, and you're like, okay, well, is this real or what? And then like, as they go on, the dreams start to involve her. Like, they're in a relationship and, like fooling around and stuff. And so it's like, but then like, right as you're like, okay, wait, is something going on between them? And it's like all set up. And then he wakes up from the dream, and it's like, oh, he was just dreaming it. Okay, well, is he really disturbed, or was that a real event that he's just remembering? Was it a daydream? What was it? So it keeps jumping back and forth like that. So yeah, then the movie just kind of keeps going that way. At one point, there's a second psychiatrist introduced that you think is going to have more going on with the plot, but then just kind of doesn't. The new psychiatrist has an involvement with the girl's brother, the brother's wife, and the stalker guy. And you're like, okay, well, where's this going to lead to? And then nothing. No, we're just not going to do anything with this story. So yeah, then it all comes to a head at the end. I'm not going to spoil it for you and tell you what's going on, because it really does keep you intrigued long enough trying to guess if it's in her head, if it's in this boy's head, if it's really happening. It's actually kind of a good old-fashioned murder mystery that keeps you guessing. It's like, who did it? Why did they do it? Is it this person? Is it this person? Is it nobody? And then the ending, probably one of the best endings to a film I've seen in a long time. it comes up to where the ending should be and then just kind of stops. And it's like, okay, well, wait, what happened? And then it kind of shows, like, you know, this person did this, you know, those where it displays a little text and says, this person went on to become this, or this person went on to become this. And then it, like, shows you a little clip from it. And it's, like, showing you these little things, and it's like, okay, but what happened with the main story? And then there's, like, this little stinger bit that I kind of thought was going to come, but I didn't realize how it was going to come. So when it finally happened, it was like, okay, wow, that was unexpected, but it made sense. Again, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Watch the movie if you want to know what I'm talking about. Yeah, this review's been really helpful, hasn't it? So yeah, that was the ending. Then, again, another film with really short credits. Like, I thought No Good Deed had really short credits. These ones were almost as short. Like, it just ran a few names, and then, like, locations, and then the music, and then it was done. It was like, you know, normally the credits will go on for, like, 5 minutes. These were done in, like, a minute, if that. Same with No Good Deed. It was only, like, a minute to 2 minutes worth of credits, and it was done. There was a little stinger after the credits on this one, but nothing worth staying to watch. Just kind of shows the girl standing there, and she quotes the Macbeth bit about, you know, by the breaking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes, which Something Wicked was the name of the movie, so it was just thrown in for that reference. But it served no purpose to the movie. So yeah, that was kind of Something Wicked. This was also the last film that Brittany Murphy did before her passing. Why it took so long to come out, I have no idea. So that's another reason I kind of think maybe there was more meant to happen with the other psychiatrist, because, of course, with Brittany Murphy's passing, they couldn't do a lot of things with her that they were probably originally going to do. So they kind of just pieced the movie together the best they could out of what they had already filmed with her, maybe, and maybe that's why it took so long, because they had to kind of shoot around, maybe rewrite the story slightly and shoot around her not being there to fill in the other role. So yeah, there was probably a large chunk of this that was cut out. It probably would have been slightly longer. But it was still a 90-minute film. They managed to pull, I think it was like 94 minutes total, so they still managed to pull a good film out of it. And like I said, it was a decent film. As far as a star rating, honestly, it kept, like I said, it wasn't the greatest movie ever, but it kept me intrigued, which is something most movies don't do nowadays. Usually I'm like, okay, let's move on. I know what's happening. Let's get to the next point. This one is just kind of like the whole time you're like, wait, what? Okay, is this going? Okay, now they're doing something different. Okay, I think I know what's got. Nope, I was wrong. You know, and just kind of going back and forth. So it's been a while since a movie did that. So again, another movie I would really like to give a 4 to, but like I said, there's a couple plot elements that are just randomly dropped for no reason. And the only thing I can guess is maybe it was because of Brittany Murphy's passing. But if it wasn't for those couple of plot elements that were dropped, I probably would have rated it a 4. So again, I'm going to do probably a 3.5, but again, a high 3.5. It came real close to being a 4 on this one. So yeah, 3.5 stars out of 5, I guess. Is that how I do these? Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't do halves. I would just do 1, 2, 3 to 10. So yeah, 3.5, and that's pretty much my review of Something Wicked. I'm not sure what time it is. I'm probably not going to go back in and see the other movie today because I'm at my home theater and it's not Tuesday, so I'm paying my discounted employee rate. And it's got to be at least after 6 by now, which means matinee pricing's over, so I would actually be paying like $3 more even with my discount. So maybe, I don't work until late tomorrow afternoon, so maybe I'll come back over early tomorrow morning and see the other film, or if it's still showing on Monday when I have a day off again, maybe I'll come see it then. But I think a couple of other things are opening Friday. Or is it next Friday? Yeah, because today's Saturday, so it'd be next Friday the next couple of movies I want to see are opening. So maybe Monday I'll come back over and finally watch the one that I've been putting off. Really don't look forward to it like, oh, what is it? Just because I'm not telling you. The only reason I'm not telling you is in case I don't get to see it. I don't want it to be like, oh, you said you were going to review this and you never did. It's the only reason I'm not telling you. By the time I get to it, you'll probably get to it and be like, really? That's what he kept putting off? So, yeah. Like I said, that's it for that review. Again, I know one movie that I'm going to be seeing next. I actually know a couple that I'm going to try to see when they come out on the 19th. One of which I don't think is actually showing here, and it's pissing me off because it was one I was really looking forward to. But the movie theaters here don't have it on their listing yet as far as upcoming, so I may have to travel a distance to see it, and I really don't want to do that. Maybe we'll wait and see if the other theater up the road that's like $12 per ticket, regardless of time of day, gets it. And if they do, maybe I'll have to splurge and go see it there, which sucks because I'm really short on cash this month. Yeah, but I'm just kind of rambling now. Also got a couple more things coming up. Might be debuting a new series, not sure yet. Kind of have to wait on my work schedule to open back up to correspond with when my roommates are gone, because like I said, it's really hard to film things around the house when they're there. So I kind of have to wait for that to open back up. There are a couple more product placements coming, so there's a few things to look forward to. Once my schedule lines back up, I'll get a couple more gameplays up. I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break from Night of the Rabbit, so I'll probably do something else and then come back to that one, just so you guys aren't like, this game sucks, get on with it, type of thing. Or, hey, maybe you guys are enjoying it. If you're enjoying it, let me know. But yeah, so that's what's coming up in the next month or so. But yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Movie Reviews.